In my head there was a plan. Then you told me that you love me more than anything in your life. So I asked you, would you do me the honor of being my wife? I will be your man, your protector, your best friend. Till my humble life is ended, and time begins again. We could be strong together for so long. Our love will grow so strong. We be happily ever after. Couldn't we be, baby? When I was away, some friends became just faces. Some people grew apart, but you stayed right in my heart. And so many times, picture just staying inside my mind. And for so many years, too, I knew it would be you. What up, what up, what up, what up? Let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. Is a little fantasy and no play. No one's ever the same. So let's play a little fantasy and no play. Come right in and take off your skirt. Sit right down and let you go to work. 'Cause being my patient has its hurt. Come and show the doctor exactly where it hurts. You say the pain, it hurts right there. So come and lay it down there, right over here. You see with me, the fun will never end. When my little camera roll play pretend. Oh yeah, it's a little fantasy and no play. Fantasy and no play. So let's play. Oh yeah. Might be right, Brizzle. Might be right, brother. Might be right. I won't let you go. This love is so that I won't let you go. Taking the time to show my love for you. No. Love me to hold girl. Tell me, let it show. When you feel me, I know that I love can't roll. Y'all miss Midnight Love and Slow Jams, man. Y'all miss that. Girl, words can't express the way I feel for you. The way you hold me, the way you touch me. Girl, everything you do to me, you know I like it. Don't stop now. reality. Each and every time you are here with me, the touch you give me with your hands. When you caress my skin, I'm under your command. Girl, you hypnotize me with your eyes. It took me some time, but I realized it's you. To whom I belong. I love it. The feeling's getting strong. The things you do to me, it brings out ecstasy. It really turns me on. Feeling getting strong, girl. You are my lover. When I'm with you, there is no other. A spell you got me under. Please don't you leave. I'm on my hands and knees. Words can't express the way I feel. Motions for you. I'm falling. Girl, you love me over and over again. Don't stop. Please don't let it in.
What's up? What's up? We gonna get it in a second. We gonna get it in. We gonna get it in.
It feels so good when I'm with you. Your ecstasy. Yeah. It's just the little things you do that makes me wanna be right there when you need someone to love. 'Cause it's love you see. I'll give you the love you need. Just take my hand and lead the way. If you need someone to love, you lift your hands and think to me, and I lose control. Such a warm personality makes me want it more and more each day. I wanna be just someone to love.
All right, Leela, you go to bed. I got you. I try to do my best. Y'all don't know nothing about this. Y'all don't remember this one.
Telling you that you tell me how the hell they can tell you they know what's in you. Just tell me why the hell was the
What's up? How y'all been, man? I took a couple. And Charlemagne the Coon asked him about him having all these kids out of wedlock. Now, Nick Cannon, the guy that wears the turban, trying to be Mr. Wokety Woke, who had that bullshit ass show where he used to be up there trying to talk all that woke shit when he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, ignorant. And I'm gonna get into all that. We gonna unpack this slowly, okay? Then I'm gonna answer your question, Donovan. Now, so this the thing, right? So Nick Cannon trying to talk this woke shit. Well, man, I mean, being monogamous is a European concept. I mean, that's a European concept. Let me explain something, man. Just go to the hotel. Let me explain something to y'all, bro. When y'all talk that hotel shit, make sure that you understand that when you talk about African concepts and culture, you're talking about 5,000 different cultures, okay? Different groups of people, different languages throughout history, okay? Every group of people in Africa did not have multiple wives, okay? I'm gonna just let that shit roll for a second. In fact, there's only a few nations today that even still practice that. Not that many of them. The Congo, a couple of other places in Africa. You can look that shit up. It's like a map, right? So you only got about 5 or 6 of them where that's even the thing. Some European, some Middle Eastern countries still might practice it, but for the most part, they don't really practice that as much. Now, I don't knock, polygamous marriages, and I'm gonna tell you why. First off, this is the thing. The difference, Nick Cannon, is that these men are marrying and taking care of these women and raising their kids, and they in the house every day with their children, right? And please don't come on here trying to debate about no polygamy. I'm not even. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is niggas like Nick Cannon, and this is why when I first came to YouTube, I distinctively remember a lot of brothers had a problem with me because I said it ain't the Pookies and Ray Rays that just make the mess. A lot of times it's these damn supposedly good guys that make the mess. It's the guys that's supposed to be the men that are doing what they're supposed to do. I got the degree, I got the education, and you ain't shit either. Okay, so this is just another example, a shining example. And usually, see the difference is the Pookie and Ray Ray. He's always the easy, one to talk about. Lord knows, the Pookie and Ray Ray got a lot of shit that they fuck up in our community. So I'm not defending them by no stretch, right? What I'm saying is this: when you look at the Pookie and Ray Rays and the guys that aren't educated, the guys that probably sold dope, or the guy that was the roughneck that works at the factory, he's a mechanic, he might be a thug, he got that rough around the edges look. That brother, that's the one you expect to fuck up. But the brother that went to college and did everything right is the one that you just don't expect to be hearing this type of bullshit. Now, what we do know about Nick Cannon's past is that Nick Cannon, and I can see this video is gonna flow very easy. This shit gonna flow easy. I got a lot to say about his ass. All right. So, you know what? Let me show the video. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go to What's His Face channel. Now he the one really when I saw it because I didn't know shit about it, and then he did a video about this shit. So let's go here. It's easier for me to do that than to go to the Breakfast Club. Fuck the Breakfast Club. I ain't getting them no views, right? That was my screen sharing. There you go. Like, damn, I clicked it a minute. All right. What?
This video is brought to you by The Office Tatum Store. The Office Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like the video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Nick Cannon, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Let me get my screen right.
So Nick Cannon,
come on, bro. Come on.
Was on the Breakfast Club. And just because you say some shit African, don't mean you're gonna shut me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bottom line. Now, this ain't polygamy he talking about. Polygyny, however you pronounce it. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about him fucking all these women, having children out of wedlock all over the different cities all over the country. And he thinks that these women knew the situation and they knew what they were getting into. I don't give a damn. Let me explain something to y'all, guys. And this just shows the actual moral bankruptcy of us as men. Let me explain something to you. Just because a woman comes to you and tells you she wants to have your child doesn't mean you should just put sperm in her and then send her a few $100s every month, or $1,000 or whatever, a couple of thousand, whatever, right? That's not how you raise children, okay? That is not the most optimal. Take it from a guy who has his son sleeping right in the room next door. Which is why my music don't be as loud at night as it does in the day. It is in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? And let me explain something, man. When you raising a child, this is the thing you gotta understand. Children need time, love, affection, and attention, right? Way before they need money, right? Money is, yeah, you damn sure gonna need some money, believe that. But what I'm saying is, when you raising a child, like my son, and I love it. Like I'll be on the phone talking. If I'm in a room and I'm talking, he'll get up and follow me. If I walk in another room, he'll be right behind me. He follows me to the bathroom. He follows me to the kitchen. He follow me. Where you going? I want to be where you are, Daddy. Every time, and that shit just warms my heart, right? Kids they don't give a damn about money, okay? They don't. What kids want is their daddy. This fucked up shit that this nigga saying he need his ass whooped. Just facts be done, facts straight up. And I'm sick of these hotel niggas pushing this shit. That's a European concept, man. Look, them niggas out here, well, ain't nobody been gay. That's a European concept. Not a fucking ain't. Nigga, I know for a fact there were gay cultures. The people that not necessarily a whole culture, but there were men that fuck with men in Africa before they even fuck. I'm talking about during the Egyptian times. In fact, if you really just want to go there for a second, in the hieroglyphs of Egypt, which is a Greek word, I know. I'm just gonna say hieroglyphs because I don't know the other phrase to what they call it in So just follow me, right? I think it was Yamana, aka Amon Ra, or some other deity that talked about something about a phallus. They said that the phallus of one deity was in the anus of another. Okay, they actually talked about that in Egypt. So it wasn't like that shit wasn't around and like people just didn't do it. One thing I'll never say is that it's like, there's nothing new under the sun. Being gay, being homosexual, that shit has existed for thousands of years. That's why I don't call that shit new. It's not a new concept. And it's not like Europe just, we were masculine. We were masculine. I'm not going to say that. But it wasn't like men didn't fuck around ever. Like, I don't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, was it embraced? Was it like part of, pushed in their culture like it was in Rome or Greek? I don't know. Because from what I hear about the Greeks, see this, and these niggas want to take shit and take it when it's convenient, right? So what we'll tell you, or what the hotels, not we, what a lot of hotels will tell you is that the Greeks actually came out of Phoenicians, and those are black people. They were black, right? They'll tell you that people in the Bible are black, right? I'm sure Nick Cannon would say that, right? In fact, I know he said that because Nick Cannon got his ass spanked a little bit last year because what did he say? Who are the original Hebrews? Who's the Bible really talking? It's talking about black folks, which I don't really argue. I don't really feel like he's 1,000% off on that. I don't. But what I'm saying is he actually made that point, and then he went into saying that was our culture, or whatever, right? And then he talked, if you go to some hotels, they'll say that the Greeks came out of they're actually part black, right? In fact, you can even Google a term or phrase called Africa starts in Rome, right? Where it just talks about how black people intermingled with the Egyptians. I mean, obviously the Egyptians were black, but the original Egyptians, not the Hyksos invasion and all that. We're talking about the, Narmer or however in the negative dynasties. And I didn't dealt with the whole Hotep stuff. I used to be into it. I didn't believe it, honestly, but I was into it heavily. I used to watch the videos and soak up the game. You know what I'm saying? Some of it I agree with. Some of it did influence me as far as politically, as far as how I think in certain aspects. But I'm able to distinguish and make distinctions, right? Now, this is the point I'm trying to make. But Nick Cannon, he wants to try to throw that conscious shit out there. It's a consciousness thing. I don't like celebrities. This is what I don't like. I don't like celebrities that watch us they don't have shit to do with black folks. Listen to me now. Listen to me. Niggas like Nick Cannon don't have a damn thing to do with black folks. Okay? Nick Cannon got millions of fucking dollars. Nick Cannon be fucking with all these interracial women and shit like that. Nick Cannon don't fuck with a lot of black women like that. He don't. Not jet black women. He don't. Right? But he want to wear this Hotep shit. Like I seen him some years ago. I remember when this shit started way back in Ferguson, Missouri. He showed his ass up and was on the stop sign rapping some anti-American shit, fuck the flag, rap shit. And, oh yeah, Nick Cannon's woke. He got a little pat on the head for that shit, right? He started wearing the turban. I said, what the fuck is this nigga on? He did an interview. He up there in the fucking turban like a fool. I said, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's not your culture. I mean, if you want to wear that shit, fine. But he did it for some sort of spiritual, whatever, right? And I was like, okay, this nigga on some different shit. Maybe he trying to find himself. I don't fault the man for that. So then he wanted to dive into the hotep shit, right? You a hotep to them small hats got a hold of your ass. Then when you became European in a motherfucker. See what I'm saying? See how that shit work? You know what I'm saying? With hotep. Because he said it. Michigan, he says it. I used to listen to his little show when he used to have on that campus, and that's what he was talking. That's how I mixed it, because he did, brother. He watched the videos. He watching YouTube, just like a lot of these celebrities. They'll sit there, they'll watch YouTube, and they'll pick up all this hotep shit, and then they'll try to throw it back at us. I know how you are about this stuff. I know how you feel about it. But what I'm saying, I know you want to protect the hotep stuff. What I'm saying is this: a lot of these celebrities play with this shit, and they take little parts of it to justify they little fucked up ass shit they doing. Like Beyonce standing up, now you got everybody out here talking about woke. Woke was a term that you yourself told me. Conscious, when we talk about being conscious, you yourself told me about it being a botanical term that really refers to a plant's ability to respond to stimuli, right? So when I hear a brother like Nick Cannon saying some shit like this, nigga, you ain't responding. This ain't no country shit. You just saying, nigga, you gonna go out here and pop children out in some random Instagram model hoes off Instagram and send them a check and don't raise your kids like a fucking man and be there and do what you're supposed to do, and then gonna talk about that's some cold hope. No, he should be shunned for that shit. That shit should be shamed. Because it's niggas out here, see, everybody ain't got millions of dollars like this nigga. You got dudes that I've worked with, and this is why this shit hits home for me. Because I've worked with dudes that make plenty of money, that figured out how not to pay child support. They got kids growing up in abject poverty damn near. And they laugh about that shit. And I look at them like, you ain't shit, right? Not only you laid up, you popped out more than one kid out of wedlock, but you bragging about all the hoes you fucking, you doing this, you doing that. And at the same time, okay, fine. I know how you are about that. Okay, fine. I'm not reaching. He is. Some guys help Metu Jude out. Have y'all heard Nick Cannon preach that hotel stuff before? Am I the only one saying this? Have y'all not seen the videos of him talking? The people, his guests. He was talking to Professor Griff. He was talking to Riza Islam. He was bringing those people on there to try to ingratiate himself with the black community, with people like you, brother. I'm not reaching. And I don't fall for that shit. I knew when it came time, he gonna fall in line with them white folks, because that's who buttered his bread. Was the white folks, was the small hat. What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, and I'm not, but I'm also saying is when you do say hotel, you can't just say, just take one piece of something and say, man, that ain't us. Yes, it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm correct. Thank you, brother. I thank you for giving me that permission. I appreciate it, brother. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll talk. Anyway, let me say this, man. This nigga, man, like, so you going out here, you laying up having all these damn kids. You having them out of wedlock. I don't give a shit what nobody say. Like I say, being a father is a full-time job. It's not some part-time shit, right? You don't do that shit part-time. You can't even look. I'm not even shitting on the brothers that's in the polygyny or polygamy, however you pronounce it. I don't even. You know why I'm not? Because if you were to bring those kids in the same house and you was raising those kids and you was seeing them every day, I wouldn't have shit to say. But these niggas ain't marrying these women. These niggas, what they doing? Like if he married, well, okay, cool. It ain't that. Well, he don't want no real responsibility. He like, look, I just send you a check. You happy? And these dumb broads are happy. Let me explain to you what that does to our society. What that does is that really chips away at the family structure. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going on is a lot of, I already got like 7 kids, 8 kids, some shit like that. But what I'm saying is that chips away at this is the family structure in society. And when you got niggas that's preaching and thinking like this, I honestly believe, this is my personal opinion, I think Nick Cannon is an agent now. When I hear you say some shit like this is destructive shit that we in the black community do not need to have being said. Let me let this shit play.
Shout out to my boy, the Right Wing Angel. Always having a bunch of cool content on his page. I can't say that enough. Nick Cannon. Never heard in my life. Let me let you hear Nick Cannon say this so I can just blast him in a second. Roll the film.
Who questioned the different baby mothers? That's what.
So Charlamagne is.
All right. Charlamagne, answer the question. We know. Let's get to it. Let's hear what this nigga had to say.
I mean, because it's like that's a Euro.
Hold on.
Kids by multiple women, and here's his response.
People question that. I mean, because it's like that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of like.
Look at what the nigga got on. Like I can't make this shit up. He got on the shirt with the black fist on it. He got on the shirt. Look, bro. Look. Knowledge of history does not mean consciousness. I agree with you, bro. That's why I gave your definition that you talked about. I said you the one told me that, right? I just talked about that, right? I said, man, look, consciousness is really just socially, the definition of it is socially. What people mean is socially aware. That's all they really mean. What's going on? I'm not pulling you. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. I'm aware of what's going on. Here's the phraseology woke, right? I'm awake. I'm conscious of, and so that's what it is, right? And so when you look at that, and then what you see the preaching that's come out of that community, some of it's been bullshit. I'm sorry. Some of them brothers on some bullshit. You will say that yourself, Michigan. But what I'm saying is when you get into this, when you dive into this shit, a lot of this shit, he coming with the right. You look what he got on. The hoodie with the black fist. Come on, bro. Now we gotta disassociate ourselves from that shit if you're gonna apply to yourself. I don't call myself conscious, but you have to disassociate yourself from that shit because this is some real damaging shit he about to say. European, man, shut the fuck up. So it's European for you to marry the mother of your children. So it's European for you to be in the house and raise your kids so they won't be in the damn putting a gun down my face or shit. Next thing you know, we got the next Lil Nas X out this bitch. Because that's where he come from. A dad who wasn't there. Right? And look at that nigga. Sold his soul for some damn peanuts. This nigga out here giving the devil a lap dance. I mean, going at little kids and shit. Like, tell me he gonna write children's books. That's what happens when you don't have a strong father, a strong male figure in that house to shut that fact with me, to shut that stuff down. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have that, and he didn't have that, and so that's why. And so what I'm saying is, men like him. That's why I named this book, this video, what I did, because men like him produce Lil Nas X. It might not be the alphabet stuff. It might be, some dude out here encouraging your Josh. It might be Meg Thee Stallion, right? Like, where do we get these women? Meg Thee Stallion. She never mentioned her dad. She probably know who her dad is. What is she doing? Out here encouraging young girls to sell pussy, right? What is these girls? Everybody that has been given to us by these small hats have been black people with weaknesses, and we don't have an immune system to protect ourselves. We don't protect our kids. This nigga's a fucking leader, whether we admit it or not. He is. And many people, many black men, gonna defend this fuck shit he talking.
I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of like if you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life, and then really that's just a classified property when you think about it.
You see how he kind of skated the question? Why you have? Well, let me go back. Charlamagne said you having all these children out of wedlock. Or he didn't say it like that. He said you having all these children by different baby mamas. He didn't say that you not married. He didn't say, well, you marrying these women, right? He said you having all these children out of wedlock. In other words, that's really how he should have phrased it. But of course, I don't expect Charlamagne to give us that type of answer. I don't. Question. He's not gonna phrase it like that. I don't even think he understands the importance of that shit. And I got that same tired ass video I've been showing y'all. I'm gonna go back through it just to kind of make my point, because it's some points made in that video about, and I'm starting to realize this shit. Like, the dude made a point in the video from the American Populist Union. He made a point about men don't know how to be men anymore. Like that shit been lost. We had generations now of motherfuckers that grew up that don't understand what real masculinity, what it really means to be a man of character, to really, make a difference in your community. We don't know anymore. We don't. You know what I'm saying? And half the brothers that don't know will talk like Nick Cannon. They'll throw their fists in there and they'll say hotel, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So we got some work to do. Work needs to be done. For him to say some ignorant shit like this. Now, am I saying that he needs to marry? I'm not even saying he can't marry all of them if he wants to. He got enough money. If they want to be down with it, I ain't gonna condemn the man. If you want to marry all of them. But what I'm saying is, before you just willy-nilly drop, this nigga dropped 2 babies at the same time. Like by 2 different Instagram models. It ain't like he fucking with like doctors and he just popping up in Instagram, busting nuts in Instagram models. Like, what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? One of the things I always admired about, the character James Evans on Good Times was he was a real, he protected his family. He was a protector. When you came in that house, you better respect James and you got a problem. James gonna put hands on your ass. He didn't give a damn who you was, gang member, whatever. He wanted his respect. He demanded it. I love that. When I was a kid, I said, now that's a dad. And then I saw the same thing with Cliff Huxtable as well. We didn't see him as a thug, but a lot of times it ain't all about being able to put your hands on somebody. It's about the other shit. Because how many times out your life you ain't gonna have that shit happen when you feel like you got to put hands on somebody as a grown man? You're gonna go 5-10 years before you even feel like you might have to slap the shit out of somebody. So the next 10 years, day to day, it ain't got nothing to do with it. It's about, okay, being a father, being able to listen, being able to do things the right way, not thinking everything I say is right. Fuck everything. I'm the man. I do. It ain't always like that. Sometimes you listen. Sometimes you see the situations. You listen to your kids. You listen to them. You see where they're going. Get their relationship. How can you do that, man, when you got kids in 6 different households? If somebody believes that that's a good thing, please type it in the chat. That you think it's good to have 6 baby mamas. Somebody tell me why. Because there's no difference between him and Future. He's the same thing as Future. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Like, why are you popping out? I'm gonna tell y'all why. And this is really the real reason Nick Cannon doing this shit he's doing. Nick Cannon is doing this shit because Nick Cannon is sick and he's dying. And Nick Cannon feels like if he can get a bone marrow transplant from his kids after they 5 years old, he can probably be saved. That's why he popping all these babies out. He testing their blood type to make sure they can get him a bone marrow transplant. That's what this shit is. Some real fucked up, evil, diabolical shit. This shit ain't got nothing to do with I want a bunch of kids. Yeah, nigga, you want a bunch of kids because you sick. And I'm not shitting on the man because if I was sick, I'll be trying to help him. I don't know about that, but I'll try to survive too. That's the human spirit to try to survive. You know what I'm saying? This nigga doing that shit and then lying about it, like trying to throw some conscious hotel shit with it. That's a Eurocentric comment. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You're one man, and look how they said Nick Cannon saying being with one woman is a Eurocentric concept. We don't mean being with one woman is a Euro, because that's a very misleading phrase. Being with one woman. No, you could be with multiple women as a single man and not putting pump babies in their ass. They ain't got shit to say about Nick Cannon, right? And I ain't got shit to say about Nick Cannon. If he had 1, maybe even 2, I might be okay. He had a slip up here, but when you out here just completely free with it, willy nilly, and then trying to throw that consciousness with it, well, that's a European. Get the fuck out of here. And when you say the word Eurocentric, what that means is, nigga, you asleep if you think like European. Let me go there for a second. I know this is gonna sound real fucked up what I'm about to say. Here we go. Maybe the Europeans figured this shit out. Maybe they figured shit out. Maybe they got it right and we had it wrong. Maybe in certain instances, not in everything they say and do. I ain't that type. I'm not a coon. I'm gonna be the coon. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. If you think I'm one, I don't give a shit. What I'm saying is this. If look, man, if we're trying to figure out how to get up a hill, right? You got three people trying to get up a hill. One dude is walking up the hill. He crawling up the hill, right? Me, I'm saying, fuck that. I'm not only am I walking, I'm running up the hill. And then you got one motherfucker that invented some sort of contraption where he can sit down and get pulled up the hill, right? Now I see him getting pulled up the hill, and I'm running up the hill, and I'm saying, well, you know what? I'm better because da 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 da. The objective is to get to the top of the fucking hill. It ain't trying to find all these peripheral reasons why your shit is better. If he beating your ass to the top of the hill, and when he get up to the top of the hill, he put some shit up there so can't nobody else get up there but him, then you the fool for watching that shit happen and not adjusting and making adjustments. This is why the Japanese have the third largest economy on earth right now. Because the Japanese were smart enough, and what is it? The Magi Restoration, where the Japanese were able to come in. I mean, the Europeans, Admiral Perry came and forced them in the late 1800s to I think 1850s. I'm sorry. He opened up their ports. These people had a culture that had not been touched for 500 years. They've been doing the same shit with the warring states and the daimyos and shit. They ain't had that many resources on that island. Then what happened? Archipelago, whatever you call it. What happened? He forces their ports open. They're in awe, but they don't worship the white man. That's what motherfuckers get it twisted. They didn't worship it. They looked at, oh man, that's amazing. Let me see that. Hey, I tell you what, let's send some of our smartest, best, and brightest to Europe and let them study at your universities. Right? And then shit, within 50 years, they defeated the Russian army in battle within 50 years of riding horses and having wagons and shit. Fighting with swords. So they went from fighting with swords, riding horses, and in 50 years they was kicking the Russians' ass, who had that shit, right? That's some shit black people can learn from. Everything white people do isn't bad. It just isn't. I hate to see people make that concept. Where if white people say up, I'm going to say down. They say left, I'm going to say right. If white people say up, I'm going to look at why they said up, figure out if it works, and if it does, I'm going to go up. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? You're a fool right now if you're trying to battle the internet. Now, I know what you want to say. Oh, no, the Dogun, and they adopted that from the Dogun. Well, shit, the Dogun didn't take that shit and make the internet, though. Like, that's what I mean. Some of this stuff is just really detrimental to black folks. You want to take credit for the internet. Now, technically, there is some black man, I think, that really did have a lot to do with the creation of the internet. So I forget his name, but there are black people that were instrumental, right? But I'm sorry. If someone comes along and takes something you invent and monetize that shit, and you sitting there and they running circles around you with your own shit, that's your fault. Just like hip hop. As much as I feel like the small hats did what they did, we knew way back in the 80s what they was on. We knew. Right? When what's his name sold all his shares of Def Jam, what's his name, Simmons, you know what I'm saying? When he sold all his shares of Def Jam and shit like that, and we saw all that shit, the dude that been calling that shit out for years, Dame Dash, right? Dame saw what the shit was. Dame saw what it was, man. You know what I'm saying? You think we've known for 20, 30 years now what's going on. If a small head gets you hemmed up now, you just a dumb motherfucker. What's going on with Meg Thee Stallion? Who's doing her publish? I mean, her, whatever it is. 300 records. Leo Coin, small hat. You know that motherfucker, a crook. He a well-documented crook, right? But he's still there, still doing his thing. These people still doing business with him. We shouldn't be doing business with none of them motherfuckers. We know what they're about. We know what they're gonna do. We know what they're gonna push. We decide technically what is cool in hip hop. We pretty much destroyed Tekashi. All Tekashi got now is a bunch of videos where he talking and cussing people out and talking about you a pussy and you see that. That's all he got right now. Tekashi, nobody fucks with his music now because of us. We're the gatekeepers. We can decide, right? Or we can build our own shit. We can build our own shit just like the Japanese did. What did the Japanese do? 1850 happened, right? Then all of a sudden, in 50 years, they defeat the Russians. Not only did they defeat the Russians, they start kicking the Chinese ass, right? And then World War II happens. And we had to nuke them motherfuckers to stop them. They was that fucking powerful. Now they were losing the offensive out there. And if you, I love to watch World War II shit, as y'all can tell, right? But you know, they were losing that offensive. See, when I watch TV, I like to watch History Channel shit like that. They were losing that offensive out there, but they still were fighting ferociously. And the cost of American lives in Iwo Jima and in the Pacific was great, right? And so what did they do? They had to drop a nuke to stop them. That was the only thing that brought them to their knees was the nuke. Because they believed that their emperor would have what they call the mandate of God. And so they was going to fight to the bloody end. Mad respect for people like that, right? So what happened? They got the Marshall Plan. Marshall Plan happened. They didn't. It wasn't just well. See, we would. You know, I hate to say this shit, but I'm gonna say it. See, for us, that would just been welfare. But for them, it's like, man, fuck this shit. All right, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's revamp. Let's start making our own cars. And it was cheap. When I was a kid, Japanese cars was shit. Okay, Japanese cars, it was a joke. It was a running joke that Japanese cars were whack. And then up until the 90s and the early 2000s, American cars were whack. Bunch of ugly ass cars that they hadn't changed the body style on. You know, they started trying to make changes, but it was too late. The Japanese was kicking their ass all through the 80s and stuff. And so the point I'm trying to make is they were able to adapt. And by literally the mid 80s, they had the third largest economy, and they were able to get Reagan, because of his respect for them, to give reparations to internment camp survivors, right? So it can be a lesson learned from that shit, that you can evolve from certain cultures. Now, when we talk about Eurocentric cultures, am I saying that monogamy is a Eurocentric? No, I don't. I don't believe that shit at all. Like, that's not the only culture in the world that, don't say that shit is Eurocentric. Fuck out of here. When you talk about some shit being Eurocentric, the printing press is Eurocentric. That is a distinctively, European invention. Some people can say they dabbled in it in history, but I would say, I think the steam engine, certain people, I think one guy by the name of Jules, who else? A couple other inventions came out of Germany, out of the Austrian, Prussian school, or whatever they call that shit. But a lot of shit came out of there. And if you look at history, you can also see that there's certain things that are just distinctively European, and there are certain things that are just distinctively African. There are certain things. But when you talk about the types of relationships, that shit is so broad. You know what I'm saying? And what he's talking about is tribal shit. Like, he's talking about, when I say tribal, I mean like bush tribal, not like tribal. I mean, he's talking about like some stuff the Aborigines do, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different things. And so that's what he's talking about, where a man and a woman ain't married, they just pop a baby out and that's it. No, because shit, what type of nigga she with? Is he gonna raise my kids? Okay, who you got around my? See, you as a dad supposed to protect your kids. How you gonna protect your daughter when the mama is an Instagram model? So she done popped the baby out, she's back on Instagram. What type of niggas hitting her up in the DM? And if she does have a boyfriend, is he in your daughter's bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, fucking with her when she's 5 years old, 4 years old, shit, 15 years old? Is he fucking with her? Where are you? Oh, you sent the check, right? Or if some shit even worse is that nigga in your son room. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, what type of shit is your son and daughter being indoctrinated with on a daily basis by television, right? By the type of shit that your son might say that the mom might not catch. Because we as men think different. We see shit way out in the future. We thinking way out. Whereas the mom, oh, that's cute. No, it's not. That's not cute. Don't do that. Somebody might think this, and that could lead to this. And I'll never forget this. I was on a situation. I was on a panel discussion with Nyla Says and a couple other people, and this girl came on there. I forget her name, and she said that what did she say? She said messing with young children is a European trait. Now, I can see where she went with that. What she was trying to say was the child molestation and shit with the small hats. I get it. But you technically are wrong by definition. If you go and look at all the cultures in Africa, you got people that was marrying young girls at 10 years old. Like, it's not looked at like it is over here. Even to this day. Like, if R. Kelly was in Africa, nobody would have gave a shit. Y'all see that, right? Y'all know that. It's not really looked at like it is over here. You know, so it just depends. You know what I'm saying? And so the point I'm trying to make about this whole concept of saying some shit is Eurocentric is just a way of protecting. See, once I go inside the hotel, I can always protect myself from any type of fuck shit, because that's in the black community is held in high regard. Even if it's some everybody and mama see the dysfunction. We all see the dysfunction that men like this cause. This is dysfunction. And he's probably gonna give us one of his children, if they go into entertainment, we got hell to pay. You better believe that shit. We got hell coming. Because guess what? That's like saying, shit. I hate to say this, because I got a child. I mean, hopefully he'll turn out okay. But let me say this. I saw some shit when I was watching Will raise them kids, Will and Jada Pinkett, and some of the shit, the comments that they would make. I was like, oh, okay. I was surprised. I said, shit, I can just about tell you them kids ain't gonna be normal. I can just, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of tell some shit. Like, you can look at certain parenting and you can see, like, this kid probably has a high statistical chance of being fill in the blank, right? Like, if you got a child who's, you know, his mom is a slut. Every time you see her, she got a different man, right? Don't know his dad. He's in a poor community. His mom barely gets his hair cut. He looks dusty as hell. He's young. He got a lot of bad habits. And, you know, he always out on the street middle of the day. You see him, like I see some kids that always be out on the street. Well, I'm like, you will never play with my child, ever. Like, my child's never going to know your name. Never going to go outside. Y'all ain't going to ever get to know each other. I know my son be going to go out there. When he see them kids, he's looking like, no, you ain't going your ass nowhere. You going around with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I see some shit on them kids, as sad as they are, as young as they are, I already see it. Like, okay, some shit ain't being done. Because I see his ass out here at 10:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. He riding a bike. He riding a damn, you know, hoverboard in the middle of the street at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. My son at school. This kid is 5, 6, 7, just like, why he in school? Where are your parents at? Right? These are questions that you ask. So I can just about tell you, because I've seen this shit. Let me tell you something. There was some little niggas that used to come in my backyard when I used to be working on my game as a kid. When I was younger. I used to work on my game. There's these little young kids that stayed behind me. Now, when I was like 17, 16, they was like 10, 8, 9, like that. Look, damn near toddlers, some of them. Some of them were toddlers, right? And they would literally cut through my backyard and jump my fence in my face, in our backyard. He just come through the backyard, cut the fence, and them niggas would be mean mugging me. Like, and when I say something like, dang, y'all niggas bold, fuck you. Like, these was little young 10-year-old, 8-year-old kids, right? As I saw time go on, they started selling dope. But before they sold dope, they robbed a couple of places, right? But I saw it. When you ride by his mama house, it was just certain characteristics that we knew. Cars all parked on the grass, right? They never cut the grass. A bunch of fucking pit bulls in the backyard, right? They done killed all the grass in the back. Ain't nothing. Motherfuckers got broke down cars all on the street. Simple shit. Somebody that comes from that environment, I could just look at you and tell where your life is probably going to go. I could just tell. Now, am I right every time? No. You might get that situation where a rose grows out the concrete. It happens all the time. Most of us on this watching this video are from the hood, right? So you can't tell sometimes. You might ride by, but it's certain characteristics of people in the hood that are going to amount to something versus people that aren't most of the time. Like the people that cut their grass, the people that, you know, their mom starch their clothes, they get haircuts. You'll see them with their pants ain't hanging off their ass. They try to speak in complete sentences. You know what I'm saying? You see their dad around their house, even if their parents ain't divorced. You might hey man, I'm with my dad, or my dad this, my dad that, my dad did this. That dude there probably gonna go to college, probably gonna make somebody so. Probably. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is this, man. Nick Cannon is making a mess. Men like Nick Cannon are making a mess, right? You can't be out here busting nuts randomly in women and just popping babies out, having unprotected sex with these hoes. You don't know what the fuck going on. Your ass fuck around, you done cause some shit, your dick fell off. Oh, damn. I was out here, fucking all these hoes. This bitch done gave me HIV. She done gave me AIDS. She done gave me. It's some shit, man. You can't just be fucking. You damn sure can't be putting your tongue on every woman out this motherfucker. See what I'm saying? You just can't. Especially some of these Instagram models. That's like a damn public toilet. Some of them hoes. Just being straight up. That's like a public toilet. Like you fucking with that hoe, man. She ain't no telling what the fuck going on inside her guts. You putting your dick in there, it's all types of nasty pus and shit, blood, and no. You know what I'm saying? She just dushing so you don't smell that shit. She riding in the motherfucker. Some of these girls have health issues, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't clean. You can't just fuck a woman because she got a fat ass and a pretty face and she said a couple of words. Nigga, what have you done in this nigga talking about we're gonna create something beautiful. She wants to be a part of my life. She wants to create something beautiful. We agree to do it. So we do like, okay, nigga, you can paint that shit how you want to. A child ain't just something beautiful. They are, but it ain't just that. A child is a responsibility, brother. A child is, and I'm telling you as a father that it takes work, man. You tell a boy to go left, he gonna go right. Tell him not to do something, he gonna. That's how kids are. Anybody that's raised kids knows that, man. Kids ain't gonna do what the fuck you tell them. They gonna do what they want to do. So you gotta really be on top of them, man. That shit is a full-time job. It really is a full-time job. Going to his school, making sure he getting shit right, making sure we're doing homework. I picked him up, took him way across town, got a haircut today, then came back, did his homework with him. He liked to play basketball now because he saw Space Jam, so now so every day we play basketball. He want to go in there and do little drills, and I got him, teach me something. And every day he said, teach me something. I got to show him a new drill every day. So something I got to show him how to do something, right? But we do that every day, and the thing is, it's work, bro. You think it would be easy for me? Like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit. I'm going to watch TV. Let me go lay down. I got work to do. Let me go work on this. Let me go work on that. No, it takes work, man. So I'm very, very, and I didn't look at this shit like I do now until I had my own child. I'm just telling you. Until I had my own son, I didn't really think like I do now about this shit. Because now I see what it's taking. I couldn't imagine leaving him hanging. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine dropping some money off with his mom, and I'm in LA, she in Atlanta. I come see him once a month. She fly him out once a month. He on the plane by himself, flying way out to LA with me, right? Because I'm shooting, I'm busy doing something, right? And I couldn't imagine if he in Miami. I got one in Miami. I got one in shit. One of them in Michigan. One of them in the other one over there in DC, New York, shit like that. No, Nick ain't gonna whine about child support. Can't be. Can't whine. See, that's why he. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna explain another point about this shit. Tell you how dysfunctional this shit is in all areas. When he got in that shit last year, that's part of why he apologized, because he knew, man, I got all these damn children, and I can't afford not to get this check. So I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And I was about to go into that, Wildflower. I was just about to go into that. So look, men like him is why the black community is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my homeboy Michigan. Every man saying hotel. Just like every man saying praise the Lord. Just like every man saying Muslim. They ain't really beneficial for the community. And but the thing is, when it comes to consciousness, it's a broad subject. It covers Muslims. It covers Nation of Islam. It covers all that. You know what I'm saying? Even the church got some people like that. So it's not just it. So when I talk about that, it's not like the church is the complete opposite of that. What I'm saying is, when you talking about you being socially aware, when you talking about you own some positivity about being it's okay to be black and love yourself and not feel like everything white is right. You know what I'm saying? When you say that, you can't take that and bastardize it with fuck shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he did say that. He said European women are a sign of success. That's what he said. And so what he basically saying is what comes out the white man's scrotum is better than mine. That's what the fuck I heard. See how the country shit work? I could flip that shit in another way. It depends on how you look at it. But I thought that was the weakest shit he could have ever said. Like, nigga, and you out here talking about trying to have Brazilianism and what's his name from Public Enemy? Professor Griff and all of them on the show and talking about the black man is the original man and they came from the mountains. And I'm like, okay, so you quoted all this stuff from the ISIS papers and all these different books and shit. Okay, you got your hotel, starter kit. Okay, I got you. You quoting the right people. Ivan Van Sertima and Joseph Ben Yakinen and all these different guys and shit. Okay, you deep, bro. You deep, right? You call that shit and then you up there talking about the white woman is a sign of success. And I want the white man to know that I've arrived, so I take his woman and let him in. Look, when I'm trying to get a nut, I don't give a fuck about no damn white. You that focused that even when you get an orgasm or trying to fuck, you worry about trying to show the white man that you powerful. So you know what, man? I got a white woman on my side. Shit, I don't give a damn. I hate to do it. Let's do it right quick. Let's do it. Let's do it. I ain't did this in a while. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. You think I'm gonna be worried about? I can't get with her, man. I can't get with this chick right here. Oh, let me click on that other picture. That was a good one though. This one, right? You think I'm gonna be like, you know what, man? I can't fuck with her because you know what, man? Shit, I need to get a white woman. Like I don't want no woman like that. I need me a white woman. Because you know what? This ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? This is a sign of, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, let's go to Giselle, right? Giselle is the pinnacle of white women on earth right now, right? That's now look, I'm not a hater, you know what I'm saying? She ain't a bad looking woman, but if I was to compare the two, right? If I was, let's take, because this is supposed to be hot. This is hot, and I'm not shitting on her. This is somebody white. I'm not shitting on her. But this is hot for a white woman. Like this is the you get with a woman like this. This is whitey of white. I call it whitey McWhitey, right? Like it don't get no whiter than her, right? You telling me that a woman like this, I'm gonna get a nice flattering picture of her. Let's do this one. That's a little bit because that other one was not flattering at all. Let's take this one. This is her shining at her best, right? Now that's her. Now this. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the picture of this shit. This is Bria. You know what I'm saying? Let's click play right here.
Here we go.
Hold on. I'm gonna let this go.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright.
Now, one of my favorite videos of her, and I like to do this just to look, man.
Yeah, we just did the sexy shoot.
So when Nick Cannon said that the white woman's pinnacle of success, this is the pinnacle of white women right here. This is just, you catch a girl like this and you got something like this in Atlanta just walking around.
I'll say the one piece that I was
Cold in the motherfucker.
earlier. I really like.
I mean, this shit ain't even, now she's not even a fraction of the model that Giselle is. Giselle has made, she made more money than her husband.
It's like my first time wearing a one piece,
Giselle make more money than her husband.
I wasn't even scared though, actually. So I may be over my fear of heights.
Lord have mercy. But hold on. Now watch when she walk off these stairs. Watch this shit. What? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on. I ain't gonna do it no more. I'm through. I just want to let y'all see that for a second. Now that's my thing. Like, Nick Cannon, when you say some shit like that, you can never be a conscious brother. I don't care how many turbans you wear. I don't care how many black fists you put. He had a little post in the background because he canceled that show where he used to be up there talking on the little campus. I think he was at Morehouse or some campus he was at. And he was up there talking on the campus and shit. You know, I think it was Howard. It was Howard University. He was at Howard. And you know, you on the HBCU campus. Ooh, you know. And your ass up there with the little black fish shit in the background. And, you know, they're trying to appeal to niggas' emotions and shit like that. I'm sick of these fucking celebrities. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of these niggas, man. I'm sick of them. All these niggas do is watch YouTube videos, listen to us, adopt the shit that we feel, and then they put on their they put on their little black fish shit, and they want to run around like they down and shit. Like, these niggas ain't real. Man, look, if you really about some real black consciousness and success, nigga, your ass worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Do something. Don't come lecture me about the white woman is the pinnacle of success. Nigga, use a coon. Use a sellout. That's what you is. Real talk. That's what you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it like the white man. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's why I ain't got no respect for these niggas. I ain't got no respect for Beyonce ass. Beyonce ass out on the stage at Super Bowl with black leather jackets, froze, and holding up the black fist, right? What that shit get? Well, what is that? She did Black is King. Ooh, Black is King. Why? To appeal to our emotions, right? What do you mean? You talking about Black Lives Matter? She had that little pants, had them women all in this shit. Black Lives Matter is a anti-family organization. Black Lives Matter ain't. What's up? You're not really conscious. See, let me explain something. I don't even like that phraseology, conscious. Or even the hotel. I know that my boy don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But fuck it, I'm me, he, him. You know, we differ. Let me say this. I don't even like that phraseology anymore because the thing is, it's been so bastardized by YouTube and by people now. When white people get a hold of that shit, something's wrong. It's time to remix that shit. Something's wrong. When you see white people now talking about they woke, you look, I probably get in a conversation with some of these white folks out here. Look, man, I be riding by in the neighborhood. I see these white folks with their Biden Harris signs, Black Lives Matter, and I support this and I support all this, and they got their gay flags and shit. You think if I went up to them white folks, they think they way more enlightened than I am. They'll start to sit there and tell me, they probably start saying Hotep next. I'm waiting on it. That's what it's because they always say, well, you know, we're socially aware, we're conscious. You know, we this like motherfucker, you think you slick. You just gonna, you know, you want to use me to get your agenda pushed through. That's what you really want to do to black folks. And niggas ain't, and a lot of us is sleeping, but we think we woke. We not. A lot of black people are asleep. Nick Cannon sleep like a motherfucker. When you say that the white woman that comes out of the loins of the man who you call your oppressor is a sign of success, because when you get your woman, you worried about what the fuck he think instead of looking at that badass woman I just showed you and thinking, you know what, fuck that. I take real. Damn the other one. I don't want I don't care about. Only thing Giselle can do is write me a check. That's it. I don't want nothing else to do with her, right? But you look at a woman like that, and you think you'd rather take that over. Something wrong with you. Something's wrong with you, and that's the problem I have with Nick Cannon. You can't see, this is the thing. Let me explain something. Real talk. You can't take the white man money and then tell him he ain't shit with his own money. That's what Nick Cannon did, right? He need to go sit his ass down somewhere. That's just bottom line. Go sit down. When you standing on the shoulders of the motherfuckers that you call oppressors, trying to preach conscious shit, you fucked up in the game. You just are. You're not really free. Real free people ain't got no platforms. Either that or they dead. Let's just be honest. Real, truly free black men like Mutulu Shakur. I'm sure we probably don't agree on everything, right? Mutulu Shakur, that was a free black man. Really free. He chased with his concepts and what he believed in. That's why he's a political prisoner right now. Prisoner, right? That's a free man. A free man does not have to worry about the thoughts of others. He really believes what he wants to believe in and moves in the lanes he wants to move in, right? I don't think this is Nick Cannon. This is not the real Nick Cannon. Because if you really was about that shit you was preaching, you wouldn't have bent to the motherfuckers last year. But you know what? I can't blame Nick Cannon because he got hundreds of millions of dollars, but he got that shit from the white man. He got that shit from the small hats. So he had to own up. He didn't apologize to white folks. He apologized to the small hats. That's who he really apologized to. Nick Cannon know what's up. Nick Cannon know what's up. That's why he didn't apologize to white people. And look, it is what it is. What I'm saying is, don't come preaching all this shit and you ain't about that life. I don't like niggas like that. I don't like niggas that want to get little kudos and get little Facebook likes and shit. This nigga, I remember the damn Ferguson shit happened. Not Ferguson, Missouri. What's his face? The brother. That got the dude was on his neck for 10 minutes. I forget his name. George Floyd. That shit happened. This nigga catches a plane, goes to Minnesota, and is on the corner rapping. Like, what the fuck is that? Nigga, you worth $100 million. You want to put a video up talking about and you rapping on the corner? Go sit your ass down somewhere, dumbass. And Nick Cannon, he's so woke. He's so, man, get the fuck out of here. That shit's stupid. It's dumb. That shit's stupid. Nigga, go back to sleep. If you woke, nigga, go back to sleep. I'd rather you believe Jesus is a white man. Listen to me. And I know that I don't believe Jesus is a white man, but what I'm saying is, I would rather you be that damn asleep, air quotes, but you operate like Tulsa, Oklahoma did. I'd rather, if you operate like that, you can think whatever you want to think spiritually. You know what, man? The white man is God. All right, whatever, man. You building? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Now that, of course, if you think the white man God, you wouldn't, you know, it's a different video. But you get what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make is, man, at the end of the day, men like him are problematic. They should be eradicated in the black community, but they won't be. They'll be celebrated. That's what they'll be. They'll be celebrated, put on a pedestal, honored, cherished. Nick Cannon. And I agree with Nick Cannon. You know, I'm going to tell you, I bet you $1 million, the Black Manosphere, I bet you there's a bunch of brothers making videos big upping Nick Cannon because they thinking all about the pussy that they can get if they didn't have to be married. Like this is how you know niggas ain't really about that shit about how they talk about black women ain't shit and black women ain't no good marriage and marriage worthy black women out here. But nigga, you don't want to get married, you want to fuck. Stop it. Stop it. You want to fuck, nigga. You don't want to get married. Your ass, if you want to get married, you can get married. You find one good woman, nigga. Stop that bullshit. Tell that to a nigga that know better. That don't know better. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that shit. You ain't finna fool me with that dumb ass argument. Man, you know what, man? I want to get married. I just can't find a good woman that I can really settle down with and raise. Okay, so we get you one. What you gonna do? You know what, man? I don't like the way she snore at night. I don't like, man, damn, man. I mean, shit, she wouldn't just let me just say what the fuck I want to say, and then she had to say something back, and she ain't submitting to me. Like, okay, well, shit. What she say? It depends, because that's a very broad subject when you say, what do you mean submit? Well, shit, man, I go to the gambling house, and I gamble, and, you know, she was mad. This is some real shit that happened now. This nigga was talking about submitting. And he was talking about his wife didn't submit to him. Let me tell you this shit. I ain't gonna say the nigga name. So this is this lady, right? This dude I know, I ain't gonna say how I know him, but he married this lady. She was supposed to be his high school sweetheart. I remember when he first got with her, I saw him. He was talking about how she was that. He was just all infatuated. Beautiful chick, right? Beautiful. Somebody could have any man, but she had 2 kids, right? But she was cold. Nigga got with her. Did the do with her for about 4 or 5 years, you know, popped out like another kid. I think they may have had 2 more. So she got like 3, 4 kids, right? So, man, her ass called my homeboy one day and broke down crying, saying she had no money for food. Now, she's married, right? So my homeboy called me. He said, man, I've been calling old boy. I don't know where he at. We get in the car. We ride over there. It's the dead of winter. Now, I know Alabama is hot, but it's like, just try to imagine when it was like the few 4 or 5 days of the year where Alabama dropped below 50. Okay, because Alabama usually in the winter is like 50, 55. That's an average winter day. But look, let's say that bitch was like 42 degrees in the daytime. Okay, So it's night, the wind blowing, shit, it feel like negative 30 degrees to me because I'm a country boy, right? Look here, man. I go over, first of all, she was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, she kept saying thank you and stuff. We go in there, this nigga kids is wrapped up in blankets. Look here, man, right? So she starts just, you know, trying to say shit because the air was broke. First, the air was broke, the heat was broke. The heat was broke, and then we bought some groceries over there because they have shit to eat, right? And I'm sitting like, how the fuck are you? I don't look at that nigga the same. I just don't. Like, you ain't no man, dude. So, you know, my homeboy, he talked to him because I knew dude ain't know him like that. So my homeboy called him. Finally, he answered the phone. And so he put him on speakerphone. Man, you just don't know, man. She putting up home out, but I'm like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what she do, nigga. Them your kids in that fucking house in the dead of winter, freezing, wrapped up in blankets. You out here chasing pussy and going to the casino to gamble. That's all I needed to hear. You a weak ass man. That's how I feel about it. That's some weak shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Am I saying that he was wrong? Did he not have a completely invalid point? No. I'm not saying he's not wrong. I'm not saying that she's an angel. I'm not saying that she didn't probably have some shit. But you got to understand, this woman moved from Florida, had a good job, quit. Because you conveyed to her you was going to take care of her. This is what he was saying. And he got her up there. She quit, moved to a little job. I think she had been at that company for years. She was making like 85, 90. She moved up to Montgomery and was working like as a secretary somewhere, making like 25, struggling, but she had her husband. She was happy. They bought a little house. It was a cheap house, but they had a house, you know what I'm saying? And he was I think he was in the military. You know what I'm saying? Was he in the military? I think he's in the reserves, and then he had another job somewhere. But he wasn't making that much, but he was going to take care of her, you know. And my thing is this. When it boils down to it, I think that we have to, as men, understand in society that we have a role. We have things we need to do, that we're supposed to do. Now, society has kind of ostracized that and demonized masculinity and shit like that. And that's where we are. And now you have a generation of brothers that don't know how to do it. And so Nick Cannon, you know, I don't think he knows what the fuck he's doing. He's making a fucking mess. And I don't think he knows what he's doing. But he's making a mess because he got money. See, he got money, and people kiss his ass because he got money. I've been around Nick Cannon. I watch how people treat him, right? And he a little tiny little nigga to me, but even still, I met him. He was cool. I'm gonna be straight up. He was a nice guy. Nick Cannon walked up to me, not knowing who the fuck I was, and shook my hand. This was after Drumline. I met him. I said, okay. I said, man, the brother seemed real cool. I've been saying that shit for years. Until I saw him open his mouth and heard some of the dumb shit he says, right? But let me go ahead and play this video. I've played this video a few times, but I think it's ever more relevant now than it was when I first, every time I play it. Like, it's just, and it's a white guy. I know, oh shit, he listened to the white man. He listening to the white man, you know, so look, and this is what I mean by this shit. And I'm going to say this before I hit play. Listen, if you are running up a hill and your competition has invented some sort of contraption where they can sit down and be up the hill in a split second, whereas it takes you 10 minutes to get up the hill, right? And once they get up to the top of the hill, they beat you to the punch in a race or whatever, then it would behoove you to figure out what that contraption is and follow along and do the same thing, right? What works has been proven. Am I saying everything in European culture is better? No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. It doesn't have to be like that. But certain things work, like capitalism. I don't fuck with nobody say capitalism is the best monetary based system I see right now. It has its flaws, but I think it's the best. That's me. Not socialism. We saw what happened. Africans chose socialism. We see the result. Any nation that chose socialism, we see the result. The nations that chose capitalism, we see the result. Right? Let's keep going.
Despite the stated goal of conservatives being, conserve, they've managed to conserve, as far as I can tell, literally nothing. Look around. What have we protected? Our families, our communities, our borders, our values, our culture. Have we conserved literally anything? I'll tell you what, though, at the end of the day, the American flag is still red, white, and blue. Or is it? We've all seen the accurate yet overused cliche of strong make good, good make weak, weak make bad. But now as men who seem to be very quickly approaching the hard times section, it seems that previous generations have not only left us with a mess, they have also not given us the tools or the knowledge to address the problem. So here's how it goes down. You can think of society as a house. I'm fantastic at analogies. You're going to love this. Before you build your society, before you build your house, before you put walls to protect you and your people, there is simply no negotiating with nature. There are things that you need to do. If you don't do, everyone you know and love will die, which is very dark, but that's just how it is sometimes. When you are without shelter, you either find the strength to cut down a tree and make a fire, or you freeze to death. This is the strength that has been demanded from us by nature and by our society for almost all of our history. This is the strength that is needed in the hard times category. This is the strength that builds nations, slays giant beasts, and defends your city from an invading army. Why does this already sound like an ad for a mobile game? Now, for almost all of our history, men have found purpose and honor through these things. This is what we have been valued for. They are the things that also level you up in a mobile game, which besides the point. But you will notice, once the house is built, metaphorically speaking, once society is built, those things aren't really needed in the same degree that they were before. Right now, it seems as if there's no more beasts to slay. There's no more invading armies to fend off. The meat comes on styrofoam trays in the supermarket, and the wars are now fought with predator drones. Our old purpose has been taken care of. So what society has done, now that we're safe and cozy in the metaphorical house that men have built, we've discarded men. Our society believes now that men and masculinity are no longer needed. And when we feel depressed and isolated and lonely, men in the eyes of society no longer serve a purpose, society calls us toxic. It claims that we're all inherently violent and evil. It tells us that masculinity is a bad thing, and we should have less of it. We should embrace femininity. And because society has given men no new task, no duty from which they can derive purpose and value.
See, when a man don't raise his kid and he can just shoot out some sperm and nut, damn Instagram model and send her a few $1,000s a month, and that's what it means to raise a child. That means that he's probably falling in this category this man is describing.
They've simply checked out. They've let themselves decay. They attack and
He's checked out. See what I'm saying?
the virtual control points, fortify virtual cities. They see no point in making something of themselves, no point in becoming a good man. A society that hates them, a society that has not only stabbed them in the back, but is now digging a knife in, blaming us for all the evil of the world. This is where conservatives have failed. They have sat back and watched as men have been discarded. They have offered us no purpose, no solution. Shift our jobs overseas and line their own pockets while doing it. See, the whole purpose of conservatism was to conserve society, but conservatives have failed to man that task and that purpose. See, once society is built, once our home is built, it now becomes our job as men to preserve and maintain what we've been given, because society will not preserve itself. It'll rot and decay left unchecked. We still have a job. This is our job. First, the issues are superficial. There's some paint coming off the siding. There's some weeds poking through the driveway. It's our job as conservatives to be the ones who get up and do those things that need to be done but can't be ignored. It's our job to go out and fix the soft spot on the roof before
Raise your children. You know what I'm saying? That's the number one thing.
the whole thing caves in. Metaphorically speaking, of course. See, once the house is built and you can comfortably just sit back on the couch and gorge yourself, it requires an extra kind of strength and discipline, a strength of mind and character to choose to go out and do the things that need to be done to maintain society, to fill the cracks in the concrete, to patch the holes on the roof, a kind of strength that is simply not asked from us in any other stage of civilization, the strength to reject easy pleasure and vices and to do the difficult things by choice. This is our job. This is the strength that America needs. This is the strength that conservatives should have been promoting this entire time. But what have we heard from the conservative establishment? If we hear anything, which we usually don't, because promoting masculinity doesn't really make the special interest groups any money, all we hear is that men need to be more masculine. Yeah, excuse me, Mr. Neocon, we don't know what that means anymore. This generation, by and large, grew up without masculine role models in the homes, and there's none to be found in the media. No one taught us how to be men, yet you have given us this giant mess several generations in the making. Why do you think so many men dream of societal collapse or a zombie apocalypse? Because we want purpose. We want something to do. And we're incredibly well versed on killing zombies, We know how to do that. The average man would much rather protect his compound from hordes of zombies than go to his 9-to-5 desk job. Do you know what the average American man doesn't know how to do? How to be a man honored and valued by society. So many men these days have no families, no kids. They have no one to be responsible for but themselves, which is not enough. We have no fraternal organization. All of our all-male spaces are essentially gone. So many men these days feel like they don't even belong in society, that there's nothing for them. So they have completely checked out. So conservatism in America needs a new movement. What we need to do now is the job no one taught us how to do. The one that the last few generations has failed to do.
Watch what he say now. Watch what he say.
Actually conserve our nation. Actually do the difficult things that are needed to preserve and maintain our country. Here's a little secret. Everything that's wrong with our country starts with us. It starts with men. All of it. The failing relationships, the broken families, the kids in
What did he say? Failing relationships and broken families, the kids in drag.
dancing on stage. All of those are the result of weak and absent men. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to be...
Is he not right? What did he say? All of those are the result of weak and absent men. I agree.
Not weak and not absent. We must first make ourselves strong, not just physically but mentally. And then we need to go out and we need to fix the holes in the large metaphorical societal roof by first fixing the holes in our own metaphorical roofs. Maybe your actual roof too. I don't know. Above all else, we need a conservative establishment that values strong men, that acknowledges that strong men and strong families are the bedrock of society.
What did he say? Strong men and strong families. You start with the men, and that's how you get a strong family.
Strong men that acknowledges that strong men.
How you gonna build a strong man? Your ass is cross town, huh? Fuck cross town. Your ass is cross country, huh? How's Nick Cannon gonna be a good father to 6 and 7 kids, 8 kids? He just popping them out willy nilly, busting nuts in random females. Then he tries to justify that shit by saying, you get what I'm saying? That shit is just as dysfunctional as Lil Nas X to me. It really is.
Families are the bedrock of society. We need strong men and a conservative movement backing them that's going to do the difficult things that need to be done. And I simply refuse to pass the buck down to the next generation because let's face it, they're just not ready. Look at them. No one is going to do this for us. The current conservative establishment has no reason to change because promoting strong men doesn't make them any money because saving America isn't good for the bottom line. But you know what my bottom line is? I intend to live in this country and have a lot of kids. And I don't want them to grow up in a world where their father being present is the exception, not the rule, where their peers are being manipulated.
Did y'all hear that shit? This is the most fucked up thing I really think about this. I think there are a lot more white boys that think like that than there are black boys, black men. There are white guys, and you can tell by the numbers. They marry, they leave life insurance, they do shit about it. And then we want to talk about this generational wealth gap of just racism, white supremacy. No, you remember when you think like this, that will produce wealth. It will. Just doing the basic shit. He already thinking, I ain't got to talk to this white boy. I already know when he had kids, he gonna set money aside. You can tell there's a lot of shit he's saying. That now look, he might ain't saying it perfect, but what I'm saying is, there's a lot of the shit he's saying is about setting up for your children, protection, being a father, raising your kids, basic shit that Nick Cannon ain't talking about. See, he's just talking about being in the relationship and the pussy part of it. He ain't talking about you can get a nut. That once you get the nut, that shit is over. You got your head, you bust the nut. Now what? Now get your ass up, go to work, pay bills, and come and raise that child. Pour into that child. Give him your time, your love, your attention, your affection. Make sure that child has everything they need. Right? Discipline when necessary. Give them everything they need. And then come back and tell me you can do that shit with 8 different women in 8 different cities. Come back and tell me that shit.
Manipulated and abused by evil people. This is their job now. Are you watching this video? You just signed up. This is our responsibility to address the evils we've created as a society, to go out into the world and repair the...
See, let me show y'all something. This is actually the mentality of a Nick Cannon right here. Let me show y'all. And I know y'all like tired of me. He always going to the same damn video.
Children becomes a public matter. Society cares equally well for all children, legal or illegal. This removes the care about the consequences, which now forms the essential social factor. Moral and economic, hindering a girl to surrender unconditionally to the beloved man. Frederick,
Now look, what he just said was raising children. What he just said, that's some deep shit. That's the same shit Nick Cannon is talking. See, you look, when somebody give you some shit mixed up and think I think that's why I said Nick Cannon might be a plant. Because that is the most communistic shit you could say, is that a woman and a man being together is not really what we're supposed to do and raise kids and have families. That is the most communistic shit you can say.
Ingalls, the author of The Origin of the Family,
And see, when I done told y'all, I said, man, these damn small heads have done a number on black folks. They got black folks fucked up. When I say shit like that, there are facts behind this shit. These are small hats he talking about in this video.
Property and the state, and close associate to Karl Marx, was
Small hat.
advocating for the abolition of the family unit. But more
Abolition of
importantly,
the family unit, right? What is Nick Cannon talking about? The abolition of the family unit. You want look here. So let me get this straight. He starts talking that hotel shit. He get his ass smacked a little bit. He comes back. Now he's pushing he's still on the hotel stuff. What he's doing now is he's saying, don't get married, don't have, have kids, just don't marry women. Oh, that's the most optimal way. Come on, man.
he was petitioning for the abolition in the full quote.
Maybe the motherfuckers probably looked at the videos of him talking and said, this motherfucker's so stupid, we need to give him his money back and give him his position back so he can be out here still pushing this evil shit he's pushing, because he's a great tool for us.
Which is quite long, for the abolition of the role of the wife. So why would he advocate for the destruction of one of the most recognizable and most important things in the history of mankind? Well, it's the same reason thousands of people are working towards the abolition of the family this very day. I'm doing this video in collaboration with the American Populist Union. I have a video on their channel outlining why I believe that the family should be the right wing's #1 priority. You should go watch that after you're done with this video. They closely tie into one another. You see, Ingalls believed that the monogamic marriage, what we know as the nuclear family, upholds the capitalist system. The ownership, accumulation, and saving of wealth all comes down to a man and his greedy ways because of his connection to the family. Entirely turning away from God and God's commandments and any documentation of reality, Ingalls falsely believes that the natural good between man and woman is when they live communally within a tribe.
That's what Nick Cannon just said, ain't it? About it. He said, we want to create something beautiful, and these women know what they're getting into. Ain't that what Nick Cannon said? Listen to this shit now.
There's no bond between one man and one woman, but rather, quote, unrestricted sexual intercourse, so that every woman belonged to every man and vice versa. He thought this communistic household of the primitive types, where they shared possessions, their game from hunts, and even one another throughout the tribe. Ingalls believed that this form of unrestricted decadence gave way to, after years.
And see, this is where I think people really fuck up at. I think we really don't understand. Just because a white man does something doesn't mean that we should do the opposite. It just doesn't. If we grasp that basic fundamental concept, we'll be able to move like the Japanese did. And be able to create the third largest economy in the world, like the Japanese did, who were in awe of the advances of the white European race, and within a few years was kicking their ass. Like that is something to be admired. That's not, you see what I'm saying? I did that video and somebody said, you a coon, you said they have a better culture than ours. Let me explain something, man. And I know this shit really hurts people, ruffles people's feathers when you say shit like this. Yeah. I'm gonna say it. There are cultures that are better than the black culture. And when I say black culture, I mean African American. Yes, there are cultures that function better than black. For you to sit and have 86% of your kids graduate and can't even read, and if you go to every Stanford, Cornell, Dartmouth, Brown, it ain't nothing but Asians. Every fucking way you look, they done took over Silicon Valley. For me to sit and look at the Asian heritage and culture and say, you know what? Our culture is better than theirs, or their culture is not as good as ours. You'll be lying. You lying. Because what is a culture? It's any non-biological behavior. But when you're talking about a society, you're talking about how well it functions, right? So if you got most of our kids being born out of wedlock, they building prisons based on our children by the 3rd grade, right? All this shit they doing, and you telling me that none of that, and you know what I'm saying? We're not getting married, our kids, all this shit in every metric you look for. You know what I'm saying? From health to wealth to everything, we are the last in the bottom of every fucking thing. I think it's safe to say that other cultures are better that have certain things. Now, does that mean that a motherfucker that's Asian, I'm gonna look at them like they better than me? Hell no, y'all know better than that. I'm all about competition, but I understand you got to look at the scoreboard and be able to look at the score and not get so fucking emotional. We not losing. Fuck you. Yeah, we losing. Yeah, nigga, you lost. You losing. You ain't lost. Game is never over. As long as a new child is being born with a black man and a black woman, the game is never over. But what I'm saying is, we're losing the game. We're down. Okay? Like, if a motherfucker dunking all on you and shooting threes like Steph Curry on your ass, you losing. It's okay. You down 50. Now, we got to acknowledge that we're down 50. We got to stop making the dumb choices that got us down 50. And we got to start doing something different. Right? Now, when we was only down 5, it was when we had families. We was only down 5. The church was the moral center of the community, whether you believed or not, right? When we was only down 5, black people had their shit together as far as in a lot of areas. But we had certain things even then we was doing that was backwards. Just read the writings of Marcus Garvey and Du Bois and all of them. Souls of Black folk. Listen to what I quoted, that verse, that phrase I quoted from Carter G. Woodson about a black man wanting to create a back door and being mediocre. That whole mediocre mentality that we always had back then of inferiority that was probably created through slavery. And it probably was. You know what I'm saying? So we've had some problems, but I do think we can deal with our issues by first acknowledging that we have a problem. Second, there's something called benchmarking. Y'all know I'm a business major, right? So y'all know I like to get to the definition. Let's go to it. Benchmarking, right? And this is a business term, you know, that I learned and stuff. Let's go with it, right? Benchmarking is the practice of comparing business processes and performance metrics to industry best and best practices from other companies. Let me read that shit again. Benchmarking is the practice of comparing business processes or processes and performance metrics. Performance metrics. If we were to compare the performance metrics of our community versus other races, if we were to compare the not necessarily business processes, but the functioning ways of their families and how they function, what they do that we don't, what are they doing that we don't do, right? Y'all know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know where I'm going. Brookings Institute. Time spent studying. Right? Here we go. Right? The homework gap. Right? Let's look at it. Practices. Right? So let me go to it. Where is it? Look at this shit, man. Look at the Asian. Let's go back to the definition of benchmarking again. What is it? Benchmarking is the practice of comparing business processes and performance metrics. Now, I ain't got to go into the performance piece. If y'all want me to, I will in another video. You go into performance, Asians running circles around everybody, except African immigrants, right? Best practices of other companies, i.e. our competition. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, at the end of the day, that was a very dysfunctional thing to do. Was going around popping all them babies out. And I think it's because he's sick. and he trying to do that shit for his own life. He ain't doing that shit. I don't think he. I think it's more to it than that. I think that's really what it is. But anyway, like I said, this is when we benchmark and say, you know, I'm gonna do what they do. That's what these motherfuckers understand. The Asians, they understood quick. You know what? The white man, he winning. They got better ships. They got ships. They got guns. They got this. They got that. That white man winning. We need to learn that shit. That's what the Asian. That's why the Asian is probably gonna rule the next 100 years. I hate to say this shit. That's why they're gonna probably kick everybody's ass over the next 60, 70 years. Easy. It's gonna be a long time for somebody to fuck with the Asian. Real talk. Because they see shit when it works and they adopt it. They don't have no shame. I mean, they do this shit real well, almost to the point. Look at how they stole our dancing. Let's look at that. I ain't trying to be funny. Some of these Asians out there, motherfuckers, dance like black folk. Some of these Asians can outdance our ass. I've seen it. I've seen Asians outdance the shit. Most people, I'm talking about choreographed shit. Like, damn. 40 years ago, you wouldn't dare catch an Asian being able to do our dances. But they saw hip hop, and now them motherfuckers is doing that shit just as good as we do. Not only that, go on the internet and look at some of these covers now. The Asians are singing just like black. I'm talking about they doing the runs, sound like Tank, some of them. I saw them like, damn, this damn Asian dude sound like Tank. They do our gospel songs. Mimicry is one of the best forms of protection in nature. Mimicry, right? Let me look that up, shit. You know. Right? Mimicry. What is mimicry? In evolutionary biology, mimicry is an evolved resemblance between an organism and another object, often an organism or of another species. Mimicry may evolve during between different. I don't believe in evolution, so let's find another definition. I kept reading like, oh my god, they programming like a motherfucker. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's see. I ain't gonna read all that. Britannica. Nope. Let's just go to Webster's. Is Miriam? Here we go. Here we go. Action of practice or art of mimicry. A superficial resemblance of one organism to another or to a natural objects objects which it lives to that secures it a selective advantage. So so basically what it's saying is certain animals in nature will mimic other animals, or i.e. sticks, or like the walking stick or the praying mantis. When you look at them, it looks like just a blade of grass. A lot of times it helps them to get prey, and a lot of times it helps them to be protected from different predators, right? When it comes to the white man, and it comes to what's going on right now, right? I think it's safe to say we need to try to get our kids to study 2 hours a day. We need to get our kids to try to do what their Asian counterparts are doing. Just to be able to get on the same playing field and be able to look them in the face and be their equal. And if you're not doing that, then shut the fuck up about racism. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
So progression, the monogamic relationship, which is what we call, as I said, the nuclear family. Ingalls believed that it is the modern inception of the family which is wrong, contrary to human nature and ideal living standards. Ingalls thought that because this progression to the modern...
See, a lot of these people that call themselves hotels that are pushing this, that's a Eurocentric, because he ain't the first person I heard that shit from. That's why I made this video too. A lot of those guys are also avowed communists. They are communists. They'll tell you, they know why they saying what they saying. See, they trying to logically reason with you why you shouldn't have a family and be a father and raise your kids. You need to fuck all the hoes you can, and the women need to be sluts and fucking dudes and riding as many dicks as they can. Meanwhile, those children are raised by the village, just like they say on the Black Lives Matter website. See, a lot of these people that say this shit, you think it just makes sense, and you think it's just, air quotes, dating advice. It's not. It's not dating advice. That's dysfunctional shit that they're giving you, and they packaging that shit as dating advice. Eurocentric,
nuclear family was so bad that the family must be destroyed. This is deeply rooted in every Marxist organization. We see it in BLM, whose founders claim to be trained Marxists. We see it on college campuses. We see it when feminist activists like Linda Gordon say the nuclear family must be destroyed. Whatever its ultimate meaning, the breakup of families now is an objectively revolutionary process.
So when you hear brothers talking about they revolutionary, sometimes they knew what the fuck they was talking about. Some of them just said that in the sense of black liberation, freedom, and not being oppressed. In the 60s when that shit was real outwardly oppressive and crazy and shit like that, which I get why they said that. But some of them knew what the fuck they were talking about when they said revolution. They were talking about some other shit, right? When they talk about the thesis and the antithesis, and they call it synthesis, right? When they come together and synthesize, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it is when they talking about survival of the fittest and shit like that. All of these are principles that we've been given. I bet you like, what this shit got to do with it? Because what Nick Cannon said is why we fucked up. Because people may not practice and say it out loud, but that's how they live. And we see the results of what the shittiest Nick Cannon is talking about, going down that road. So you may listen to your little YouTuber friend who right now wants to tell you, hey, Nick Cannon that was nice, that was tight what Nick Cannon said. That led to all the dysfunction we see. It did.
If you just so happen to be a Marxist or a communist or any type of revolutionary who wants to entirely uproot the system and destroy the system, then beginning your revolution with the destruction of the foundation and most important institution in the Western civilization seems pretty obvious. And that is exactly what is happening. Effeminate men and weak single women without a man in their life leading them have fallen into a trap of acceptance, feminism, and insecurity. They believe that men and women have the same role. They think that there is no need for a hierarchical system within the family. They believe kids should be taken care of by schools. Women should work 40 hours a week, and men should be drones to the corporate world entirely. They want to educate your kids with indoctrination. They've gone so far as to say homeschooling your own kids is dangerous. They say that women living at home and being housewives is dangerous. And they believe that the nuclear family is dangerous. Married couples vote more conservatively. Married couples with kids vote even more conservatively. Being a parent and being married does not for sure make you a conservative, but it makes you more likely to be conservative because any sane person with a kid recognizes the weight of that. They understand that having kids means that even once you are dead, there is something related to you, which will live. And you want to work in your life to ensure that the world you leave with your kid is better than the world you entered on the day of your birth. That true maternal sense of responsibility.
Let me explain something. What he just said, is that why Mariah Carey left him? I think so. I think Nick Cannon is well known for fucking a lot of women in the industry. Nick Cannon did an interview when he was married to Mariah Carey with a smile on his face and bragged about all the hoes he fucked. And he was naming them. Yeah, man, I fucked so-and-so, Kim Kardashian, I fucked Christina Milian, I mean, he was like that with it. And he was married, right? And so, you know, I'm sure Mariah was like, so literally like a week later, she filed for divorce. I don't blame her though. Like, nigga, if you did that shit, keep that shit to yourself. Don't be out here bragging like that to all these hoes you fuck. You embarrassing me, which is what happened. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that nigga wasn't ready for that shit.
Abilities, I believe, is something no one can truly understand until they have kids themselves, regardless of how much whining and crying activists do about saving the planet. They are not doing it for the purpose of allowing their kids to live on, because many of them do not have kids. They're doing it because
people that are single with no kids a lot of times will be selfish about shit they wanted, like, which I get. I mean, because we all started off single with no kids, right? What I'm saying is, even when I was single with no kids, I still understood the principles of what I'm talking about because I had heard them before. I had them talk to me. Somebody sat me down and gave me this, right? It wasn't like I understood when you get into a community, you have to deal with the family unit. When they say nuclear family, a community would be like a molecule made up of atoms. An atom has a nucleus. Hence the word nuclear, right? The nucleus, of the atom helps make up the atom with the electrons, valence clouds. Next thing you know, you got a molecule, which is that community. You know what I'm saying? And so I understand that.
They're politically indoctrinated into the church of Floyd and Fauci and know it's the hottest button issue to talk about. If being a parent makes someone feel a sense of responsibility and become more conservative, well, of course the liberals are going to be against it. Of course they're going to destroy and do everything they can to destroy the institution of marriage through the promotion of homosexuality, bestiality, child indoctrination, the encouragement of divorce, the encouragement of singleness and girl boss attitude, mass pornographying the world. Pornography, which is explicitly used to weaken a man's will and make him.
You said promotion of singleness. Yeah, I agree with that. They did. They led to it too. Let's keep going. What did he say?
Singleness and girl boss attitude, mass pornographying the world.
See, you may think that you all horny every 5 minutes because that's just how you are. I mean, you got songs like "WAP," wet ass pussy. I mean, shit. Just saying it make you like, ooh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here we go. Bunny, why you coming here with the damn guns blazing every time? You can't be against Nick Cannon's actions unless you advocate for men to stay virgins until married, but we know that's unlikely. Just like it is for girls. What I'm saying is, I'm against Nick Cannon not marrying them damn women. That's what I'm against. I'm against Nick Cannon going around here popping out 8 babies all over the country. I knew you was coming here, Bunny. I knew it. I said, watch Bunny show up. I'm against Nick Cannon making a fucking mess. That's what I'm against. Nick Cannon popping out babies with Instagram models and shit. Come on, man. Come on, bro. No. And man, these women know what they're getting into, and I already talked to them. So what? Like I had women say a bunch of shit to me. I don't mean just because a woman said that she with some shit that I'm gonna do it. Look, I had women say ask me to do some real freakish, crazy shit. One girl ain't gonna say what she asked me. She asked me some crazy. I said, hell no. Some shit I just don't do. You know what I'm saying? Some shit I just don't do. I don't get down like that. That women ask me all types of crazy shit. Just because a woman asks you, that means you gonna do it? Hell no. So just because a woman saying, yeah, I want to have your baby. Yeah, of course she do. She can get the child support. She might get, let's say, $6,000 a month, let's say. Shit, she comfortable. Shit, I'm making $80,000 a year. I ain't even gotta work. That's how they thinking. He don't give a fuck. He know that. He don't give a fuck. You think all the women love his ass? Hell no. Nick Cannon is what's wrong. We don't need black men popping all these damn children out of wedlock like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree with you, sister. I don't have no problem with what you don't know. What makes you think I'm saying you can't? I'm not saying that. I just know everybody's not gonna do that. But yeah, I agree with you. I condone what you're saying. Yeah, you should wait. I agree 1,000%. You say that like I'm supposed to be. No. I'm not against what you're saying. I'm not. Yeah, men should not be out here willy-nilly. What I was just telling. Let me play this. I don't think you listened, buddy. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he's saying.
The girl boss attitude, mass pornographying the world. Pornography, which is explicitly used to weaken a man's will and make him a worse husband and a worse mate.
That make you feel better? They put all this sex and shit. Look at this. All these women with their asses out. This is normal now. Let me show you something, buddy. Back in the days, a girl wore some Daisy Dukes like that where I could see her ass going up like that. That was overtly sexual. Like these women damn near got on panties now. Look at this. This is like a bunch of women in panties. It ain't nothing to go to a club and see women walking around like this. That's normal.
Make him a worse husband and a worse mate. Of course, they're going to do everything in their power to destroy the family.
So you're going to destroy the family when you over-sexualize the culture, which is what these motherfuckers want. They want the family destroyed.
It represents that which they hate the most. A community of people working together, operating with one another to ensure a better future for themselves and for the world at large. It disrupts their plans of mass dystopia, where they have ultimate power and you are a serf.
I'm gonna blame Will, man. I'm gonna blame Will. That's his fucking house. That's his house. That's his kid. I actually say the first wife is the reason his first son turned out okay. Shit, if anything, compared to the mother one, and Will ass ain't the common denominator. Look at shit. Look at this other kid.
They wanted you to own nothing, and if they wanted you to live in the pod, the thing stopping that from happening is your responsibility for taking care of a family. They want to destroy you, and they want to destroy your will. And a man with a family has a meaning. A man with a family has a reason to work, and to sweat, and to bleed, and to feel suffering. Ultimately, that is a man's meaning on earth. When a man has a family, his ultimate meaning can be found in the survival of that family.
See that? Nick Cannon's saying don't do that. Let me go back. Because I hear a lot of brothers in this space basically telling black men not to do that shit, what he just said. Watch this.
A man with a family has a reason to work, and to sweat, and to bleed, and to feel suffering. Ultimately,
to feel suffering. You know what I'm saying?
that is a man.
Man, dude, why suffer? Man, fuck that shit, man. Don't get married. Don't have kids. Man, why? Like you hear them niggas saying that shit. That's why. That's what they want. They want the family. They don't say it like that. That's exactly what they push.
And meaning on earth. When a man has a family, his ultimate meaning can be found in the survival of that family.
Instead of saying, hey, brother, you just need to find you one woman. That's the woman you need to be with. Find you one. If you saying all 90% of black women are fucked up, just find you don't need but one woman, man, to have kids with and raise and be a good husband, father. You ain't gotta be, you know. I hate to say, I feel like I'm the only one say that shit. I don't hear a lot of brothers saying that shit. I don't.
But when they destroy the family, a man no longer has a meaning. And just like Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you know the why, you can live anyhow. If they destroy the family, they destroy the why. If they destroy the why, they destroy our morale. If they destroy our morale, we are nothing more than serfs and an underclass for them to abuse.
Well, yeah, I agree. You can't have sin and not. Yeah, I agree with you. I do. Everybody is not going to do that. What I'm saying is, I don't see nothing wrong with telling men to wait. Like I'm gonna be straight up with you. A lot of young brothers get a piece of pussy when they're young and they fuck their whole life up, right? Like, let's be honest. Most of these NBA players and NFL players, they get fucked up with all these babies and shit like that. And no, nigga, you need to have discipline. You need to wait. You need to be disciplined with your dick. We don't have no dick discipline, right? And that's what he was just talking about. Now, am I saying every man gonna wait? No, I don't believe that. What I do think that we need more discipline. One thing we don't have is the lack of men having sex, or women, for that matter. Because black women fuck just like everybody else do. So it ain't. So it's not like anybody's waiting. So if we're gonna tell our daughters who ain't waiting, but it's not taboo to tell them. It shouldn't be taboo to tell a boy, but it is, because you's a lame if you ain't fucking, right? Come on, I was young. I was young once. I was a little whippersnapper. In the 8th grade, motherfuckers laughing at me because I was a virgin in the 8th grade. Like, it was supposed to be understood that you fucking at like 10. Like, come on, man. You feel me? You fucking at 10 years old? Nigga. That shit would have ruined my damn life at 10 years old. How to get some pussy. Think about it. Who was I gonna fuck? A grown woman? Nope. I'm gonna fuck a little girl playing with dolls and shit. Like what? Like let that shit sink in for a second. Who you gonna fuck? So by the time you get in the junior high, it's supposed to be a well-known secret you done had some pussy, you know. So if you ain't done nothing, then you was a lame nigga. Like that's what I heard as a kid. So men are under so much damn pressure. By the time you get old, like 8th, 9th grade, you already supposed to been fucking a bunch of times. And now that I think back, wasn't nobody fucking for real. Really fucking. We had a few, trust me. We had a few. But what I'm saying is the overwhelming majority of us were not having sex at that age. And it wasn't, everybody that wasn't having sex wasn't a lame. And the few that actually opened their mouths and said that got laughed at. I remember one brother who said, I'm a virgin, I'm waiting on marriage. And they laughed his ass up out of there. I remember that shit. They laughed, which made me say, they asked me, yeah, man, yeah, I was lying my ass off. I wasn't fucking. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is, man. People do shit like that. Man, you know what I'm saying? You get that? Yeah, man, shit. Yeah, man, I'm fucking, man. Shit. I had all types of little, elaborate stories about how I fucked this girl in a shed in the back of her mama yard and shit like this. I'm lying on the girl. That girl ain't give me shit, but she liked me, but I said I fucked her. Everybody believed it. Everybody believed that shit. They call that girl a freak. I didn't touch that damn. That girl ain't do shit. That girl was a virgin. That girl wouldn't let me do a damn thing to her. But I lied. I said I fucked her because I didn't want people to think that I was a lame, right? But I'm in the 7th fucking grade. Nigga, you supposed to be not fucking in the 7th. Nigga, you was just playing with toys. Like, what? You go from playing with toys to fucking? It's a lot of living between playing with toys and getting up in some pussy. Because trust me, when you really get it, and you get a woman and she know what she's doing, nigga, that shit, you gonna be whooped. Your ass is you gotta go through all that shit. Then you gotta go through wanting to have sex with a girl and she a freak and you find all that shit out and you go through all them feelings and emotions and you fuck the girl, y'all having sex, then you find out she cheated on you and she fucked this. That shit changed the way you feel. It do. When you know a nigga that got a hold of that, oh my God, damn, she didn't go away. So you got to learn how to control. Man, that shit, you don't really learn how to really control your emotions till you about 30. When it comes to women, a lot of times we don't. Brothers don't. Young brothers, man, let me tell you something. I done seen brothers fuck their whole life up over a damn woman. I done seen it. Shit, I did. I ain't gonna say I fucked my life up. But I turned down some money one time over a damn girl. I did. You got to learn simp shit. And she wasn't no good. She was a slut. Fuck it. She is a slut. I mean, she was a slut up to my 30s. She was married. And I didn't know. And she was trying to get me to come stay with her in Houston, Texas. And I didn't know who the hell. I didn't know at the time she was married. This nigga called me cussing. Man, why you, what happened? She poked me on Facebook like the next day after we talked. And I waited like 3 days and poked her back. And her husband had the phone. Like, bro, I didn't know she was married. And after I called him back, because he called me, I was in a meeting, I walked out, I said, look, bro. I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have not seen her in years. But if you call any man and say what you just said, he going to lie and say you slept with her just to piss you off. I said, so, you might want to handle that with her. So, but the thing is, like I said, yeah, do we need to tell our young men to wait? Yeah, we need to. But we need to tell them why. It ain't just STDs and babies. It's the emotional shit that go with it. It is. I'm a grown ass man. I can say that shit now because it ain't no big deal for me to fuck. Like it ain't nothing now. I'm grown. But what I'm saying is, when I was like 15, 16, it was a big damn deal. And not only was it a big deal, you will make decisions about your life based on sex because your mind is preoccupied with it because of the song. I feel sorry for these kids now. I mean, if you'd have had a song called WAP when I was a little boy, how fucking horny I was. My hormones was already raging. You make a song talking about some WAP? Oh, good Lord. You know what I'm saying? So that's how these people think these days. Sex has become a big issue. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second. Yeah, so, sex is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just, men, it's okay to tell boys to be chaste. I say that shit. I'm sure I'm probably one of the few YouTubers that'll say that shit because of what it'll do to you mentally. You got to be strong mentally to be able to handle that shit. You really do. You do. If you're not, that should have changed your whole damn life. That should have had you doing dumb shit. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You getting all these weird ass emotions. You don't know why you hurt. Because guess what? Black men, we can get our hearts broke too. It ain't just that a woman gets their heart broke. you can fall in love and get your damn heart stepped on by a slut. We've all had it happen at least once when you had all these, you was infatuated. You thought it was love, and then she fucked the nigga, them niggas ran a train on him. You thought da 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 da, and or she fucked this nigga that you know, you all hurting and shit, crying about the shit. You couldn't find out you shouldn't have fucked her. You should have kept your dick in your pants. Then you'd have been able to think straight, right? And even if you don't, the possibility of sex, ain't that what ARC say? The possibility that you can get the pussy and the type, what that'll do, the type of manipulation, the type of money that's spent by niggas because they think they finna get it and the girl know damn well she ain't finna give you that. But because she lets you think you gonna get it, she taking your money and you getting an ass made out of it. I've been all these suckers. I've been every sucker you name. That's the truth. You think you gonna come on my channel? I'm gonna tell you I'm the master player. No, I ain't gonna tell you that shit. I've been made a fool out of. I done had women use me. I took them out, spent all this money, they get free shit, and all that for what? Simping. You gotta learn, man. But if you got a father there, he can tell you that shit. Hey man, don't do this. This is why, man. You gotta watch these girls. Da 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 da. Nobody tell me that shit. You gotta watch these girls don't get one pregnant. Don't you bring no kids home. That's what I heard. That's all I heard. Ain't hear nothing about all the shit I just said. It's a lot to it. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I gotta go. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. Enjoyed it. Shout out to my homeboy, Michigan. Michigan, I'll hit you up tomorrow. What you say? There are some dangerous women out here. Makes it hard for good women. That's what I'm saying. Look, man, women are by far the most conniving. When I say not conniving, when I say, I mean, like, what's the word? Like crafty, like very rough. A woman, I'm gonna tell you something. This is how I know. It's some of these women out there, motherfuckers, will put your ass to. That's why I said brothers that always want to flex about their money and shit like that. What you got? Well, I got $1 million. You like $1 million is some money to an average woman. Look here, the average woman, she might be happy you got that $1 million. Be with her about 2 years and see what she say. I'm talking about that. I ain't saying black woman. I'm saying woman. You can never. Women can outspend your ass. So you don't come to women with money. But that's some shit you gotta learn by living. People think, man, you can just buy women. Nah, them niggas that you see buying women of a certain, you know what I'm saying? It's just really, it don't work like that, bro. Yeah. Like you look at even in the Bible with Samson and Delilah, right? You know how cold Delilah had to be for her to constantly stab him in the back. See, this is what people don't get. They thinking it was just that she was beautiful. She probably had that fire. She had that fire. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Samson was like, oh, good Lord. You know what I'm saying? She had that nigga going through it. So she put it on his ass. So not only it wasn't just that, she was beautiful. She probably had that fire. Whichever way you look at it, whichever hole you use, it was the truth. That shit was 5 dimensions. You know what I'm saying? So that nigga was like, I ain't never had nothing like this. So when you had that type of shit going on, man, look at what it'll do to Samson. Look what it did to him. Cost him everything. His life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Jezebel. Women like that you gotta stay away from, man. What is the, I ain't gonna go too far into it, but we can go to the first few chapters of Proverbs. Read the first 4 or 5 chapters of Proverbs. You'll see it. It's a father warning his son. See, they have an immune system. We don't have that. So it's a father warning his son, right? Warning against adultery, chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen well to my words of insight. Boy, I tell you, right on time. He said, and this is chapter 5, verse 2, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. See, you may think you hear something new, but it's all just a rerun. You know what I'm saying? This is a rerun, bro. His dad was telling his son, now what if you ain't got no dad to tell you that? And if you read that the whole chapter, she got some men killed because she was married. You know what I'm saying? These are the types of things that I think we need to really try to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Telling our young boys, look, this is what it is, son. This is how it is. This is the pros. These are the cons. You know, I know you're going to date women. I know you're going to have women you into, but just understand this is what it is. Some women going to call you lame because you ain't this and you ain't that. But those women, every woman I know that was like that ended up bad. Women that called niggas lame when they was in junior high because they didn't do some dumb shit. Like, I knew a girl called niggas lame if they wasn't in the game. Right? She's so big now I can't even recognize her. She walked up to me one day. Hey, how you doing? I said, hey, how you doing? You don't remember me, do you? Help me out. I'm my bad. My memory's bad. And she said her now, I was like, my God. She was so beautiful. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Kids and life. That's it. Big as a house, but was the baddest thing in junior high. Perfect body, everybody wanted. Right? That's the way life is, man. So, you know, read the 5th chapter of Psalms. I might do a video on that. I might go read this in the morning and then do a video about it. Wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Listen to the wisdom from a dad to his son. Anyway, y'all have a good one, man. I'll see y'all.